Alright, so I worked on automating the Talawa Dart documentation. Previously, there was a bug that was creating an error, and Talawa docs were not getting updated. So that is fixed now. But for design consistency, we need MD files so that Docusaurus can render it and we can have a better go at it. So for that, I first went for creating MD files from the HTML files that were previously getting generated. So the problem there was that those HTML files have a very strict design pattern, so we can't exactly alter it to look like the Docusaurus one. And also, to fix this, we needed directly Markdown files. So using Dartdoc in the Markdown mode has fixed this issue. This is the workflow for it. So it will update the documentation by checkout and then setup. If the doc is updated, it will initiate the environment variables and then update the Talawa repository. After the Talawa repository would get committed, then the artifact would get generated and the Talawa docs would further be updated. This is the workflow for the Talawa docs updation. This is the localhost run for it. So as you can see, like you can browse through, and this is all in design with the Docusaurus theme that we have, because the Dart docs which we have right now are totally out of focus with the design we have with this. We'll have to add another auto side navbar here, which would be worked on later. It's just a few lines of code, but it can be implemented in the next 2 to 3 days. The PR hasn't been created yet because the thing is there are 3 files: index.md, widgets build.md, and widgets print carousel build.md, and there is some error in the pre-code tab. So I'll have to go through the files where these inline comments are to check if there's some error there, and then fix this to create the PR for this one. And this is just the images not having a closing tag, which is causing an error and not getting rendered properly. Other than that, I've been working on automating the Talawa API documentation, and we have the same problem here as well. We have to create a workflow that enables automated documentation, but as well have a design consistency. So I previously implemented turndown to convert the HTML to MD, but the error here is that it results in a search bar not found indexing, and these 2 lines are there on every single page, and we can't go through each file and edit this out because it will take a lot of time. Hence, I use the typedoc markdown converter package, and it works now. So this is the workflow for that. It is similar to the Talawa workflow. And the video which I will be showing now will have the API workflow in function as well as the auto sidebar generating all of those files that are in that folder. So as you can see that these are all the files that are created by Docusaurus automatically through that folder's code, and we don't have to create these files anymore, like mentioning it in the Docusaurus.config that we need these files in the Docusaurus website. It will search through the folder and carouse through its contents and create these sections and subsections automatically. So there won't be any errors if in case those files get mixed up or changed. Other than that, we have the minor UI fixes. This is the mobile view of it, and previously these were all aligned in the same direction. So we can't exactly have a differential factor that this is a part of it and not. So this is fixed now. Other than that, we have navbar changes in which we can see we have a green navbar to highlight the color of the icon, as well as a YouTube icon which wasn't previously there. And there was a pink banner section that is changed. Also, the dark mode files are configured, and if we get a go on it, that can be implemented. This is the mobile, this is the laptop view of it. So you can see here that the YouTube button is there now. And this patch was previously pink, which it is in now. So the design consistency is there, and there is more hint of green here in general. So yeah, this was all.
All right, thanks. That's a big improvement. I'm glad that we managed to find the markdown conversion for the type docs and for the dart docs, because we were looking for that early on and we couldn't find it. And I know that there are mentors on the call that were trying, and I'm glad that we managed to do that. I also like this. I like the design consistency aspects of it. So Nitya, one of the questions that I have is, at the moment, I think we have the technical documentation accessible from Talbot Docs on the main nav bar up at the top. And then we have the manual files that are available when we click through on the docs link. Is there any way in which we can merge the two together, or do you think it's better for us to have the technical documentation on separate links in the nav bar? What's your impression?
The second the markdown files gets rendered and the PR gets pushed, we will be converting back to Docusaurus autonomously. We won't have to go to Dart Docs or any other outside links for that, because the design consistency and the links all would be solved through these PRs.
No, I think you've misunderstood. So I understand that for the API and Tallow, we've got Dart Docs and type docs creating the markdown files, and they're set in a separate directory structure from the other files. That's correct. And you access those individual those files for those particular projects through a link in the nav bar. So there's an API, Tallow API nav bar link. Click on that, you get all the API stuff, and there's a Tallow mobile link. You click on that, you see that other stuff. But I'm talking about the menu items that are related to the menu structure for, like, where the GSOC links are, right? The GSOC ideas page are, and those things. Is there a way in which we could integrate everything so that you only go through one link to get to the documentation? Or do you feel that it's better for us to have it separated such that we have the Tallow background information for developers who want to understand some of the core concepts as one link, another link for all the Tallow API technical documentation that's pulled auto-generated documentation, and then another link for the other automated documentation? What's your opinion on that?
I think it's better to have these files segregated and separately. It can be combined, of course, but I think it would be better if there is multiple links in the nav bar for the user to browse through. And of course, Tallow API and Tallow differently have their different code aspects, so it would look better and feel better to have the developer or user go to the exact place to find those sections.
Okay. So one of the things that we're going to have to think about then is if we are an admin user and you come to the Tallow doc site, you're going to see the Tallow API and the Tallow admin links. You click on them, and then all of a sudden you're going to see technical documentation that the admin doesn't really understand. And so we have to think about the user experience, and so that it matches the expectations of all the different types of users who come. So what I would do is work with your mentor or whoever it is to try and figure out a way in which it's very obvious that you're going to technical documentation, and then you go down into those submenu items, and then another way in which the admin or the end user would be able to take a look at that home page and click on the right link the very first time. Okay.
Yeah, I think I got your point, Peter. Yes, we can do that.
Okay, that'd be useful. Thanks.
Yeah.
But what I see looks very good. Thank you very much, Nitya. I know that there's a little slow start, and I'm glad to see that you've made this type of progress. I saw people sending congratulations while you're doing your demonstration, so thank you very much. And I'm really looking forward to some of the stuff that we have there. One of the things that I would also like you to think about is, I understand that the Taloa colors are green, almost black and yellow, and you may want to start thinking about whether the green is a good color for the titles, because it's not a good contrast against white. So do some testing or some visual looks on this to see whether green's the right type of color for it. And then if it's another color that is better, more suitable, that's fine. Because remember, we already have the colors and the branding in the nav bar above. So don't feel that we absolutely have to do it. But as long as you choose some sort of a color or schema that makes it very obvious that this is a clickable title versus a bolded title for some other thing, okay? But if green is what you think makes sense, stick with green, okay? So don't just think about what I'm saying and saying that that's an order. What I'm saying is just look at it in a different light and see whether there's other ways in which you could do it, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks.